Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the 2026.1 release party. My name is John Bristow. I'm a developer advocate here at Octopus Deploy. Before we turn our time and attention over to members of the product team, I would like to go through a few housekeeping notes for today's webinar. You are thankfully in the right place, which is for our webinar, etc. Let me just go ahead. I've got the wrong screen. Sorry about that, Chips. I got the wrong screen loaded up here. Awesome. So if at any time you have to jump out, that's fine. We're recording this up on YouTube and all our other social media networks, so you can check it out over on our YouTube page, which you go to youtube.com/octopusdeploy. You'll see a page that looks like this. We've got all kinds of awesome videos on things that may relate to the work that you're doing around CD or product features you may be interested with Octopus Deploy. We've got a show called Deploy on Friday. We've got a show called Argo Unpacked. You'll find this all on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/octopusdeploy. As the kids like to say, make sure you like and subscribe. The other thing to mention is the fact that we're doing this as part of our series of webinars. We do a lot of webinars every month. And so if you go to octopus.com/webinars, you'll see all kinds of webinars that are coming up. So today we're doing our release party. We're going to be celebrating everything that went into the release of 2026.1. Later on, we've got Costas and Dan talking about why Argo CD breaks at scale and how to avoid it. And then later on, we've got Steve and Charlotte talking about AI's real impact from developer tools to organizational outcomes. That's co-hosted with TechStrong, our friends over there. And then for those who can't make it to KubeCon in Amsterdam later on, we're going to be doing a recap. We're going to be doing a recap of everything that we saw in Amsterdam at KubeCon. It's going to be myself, Steve, Dan, etc. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to check that out there at octopus.com/webinars. Awesome. So we are here to discuss everything that's new in 2026.1. As folks may be aware, we shipped the latest version of this product on March 10th, and we're going to be going through all the features here. But first, before we get into that, we're going to introduce our lovely speakers here. We've got Ships, we've got Jin, we got Michelle joining us here. Ships, let's start with you. What team are you on? What sort of features do you look after? Welcome to the webinar, etc.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Ships. I work as a product manager here at Octopus, and I'm looking after the platform hub stuff. So I've been on that team for the last couple of years, and all the things that you've seen come out of it include things like process templates, policies, and more recently, some audit reports as well. So yeah, we've been shipping a few exciting things recently.
Yes, you have. It's been awesome stuff to see. Michelle, over to you.
Hi, I'm Michelle. The team I work on is Fire in Motion. We're a little bit of a unique concept to Octopus. We are more of a reactive team, so we jump on projects that don't necessarily align with like the high-end strategies, but add value to customers. And I guess if there's something that a big customer is blocked by, we can jump on that as well.
Awesome. And lastly, but not leastly, of course, is Jin. Jin, say hi to the folks.
Hi team, so I'm Jin. I am the product manager for our AI Foundations team. So we are looking at what are the most high leverage ways that we can put AI basically into the Octopus product surface area. So that might be a discrete feature, or might be partnering with other teams like Ships' team, for example, to go, how do we use AI to improve capabilities in the platform hub?
Fantastic stuff. We've got some really smart people on today's webinar. So if you have any questions whatsoever, this is live. Feel free to utilize the comment section for wherever you're joining us from, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever. Feel free to submit a comment or question. Let us know what you think about the latest release. If you have a question, we can possibly do a live demo as part of that. So let us know through the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. So that being said, let's go ahead and summarize some of the things that are new. We're going to talk about each of these. And if you want to follow along at home, you can go visit our webpage at octopus.com/what's new. This is the page that we're going to be referencing throughout today's webinar, talking about all the latest and greatest features in 2026.1. So first and foremost, we've got the recovery agent, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We've got process templates support. We've got shared secrets and process templates. That's an aspect of Platform Hub, which Ships will be talking about. We've got better visibility and control with centralized retention policies. Again, Ships will be, we'll be talking about that in general as an overall. We'll be talking about how we can better organize our instance at scale with improved tagging, so tag sets, etc. Michelle will be talking about that. We talk a little bit about a nice feature. This is a feature that I thought was in the product already, but it's basically the ability to copy a release. So you can just simply go up to a navigation menu, say copy a release, and away you go. And then finally, NPM support. Yes, we finally have NPM feed support. This means you don't have to go through this sort of arduous journey of setting up NPM packages and having triggers that don't flow, etc. Now you have built-in support with NPM feeds, which now means you can do automated releases via NPM, which is fantastic. Anyways, that is where we're going to be anchoring our discussion around this. And to start us off, we're going to start off with Ships, who's going to be talking a little bit about some of the things that are new in Platform Hub. So I'll switch over to your screen here, Ships, and you can walk us through some of the coolness that is in the product now.
Yeah, thanks, John. Sorry, just getting my screens in order as well. There we go. That's a bit better. All right. So as you all know, we've been working on this thing, Platform Hub. Platform Hub is a place for platform teams to help them standardize and build in the right guardrails to enable their teams to, follow deployment best practices. So it's a purpose-built space to help, consolidate and reduce duplication, reduce configuration drift, and all of those good things. Ideally, it's really easy for your app teams to follow the standards, and it ideally, ultimately, accelerates delivery because they don't have to think about how to deploy their stuff if platform teams have done all the thinking for them. So that's like the wider context of Platform Hub. Within that, we have something called process templates, which we shipped in the last year. They're a type of template that encapsulate reusable sets of deployment steps, so they can be 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that are constantly reused across all of your deployment processes. And you can define it once within Platform Hub and publish it out to all of your app teams. One thing is with Platform Hub and with process templates as well, we've taken an approach where everything is backed by Git. So all of this is represented in OCL in the backend, and that helps with branching and versioning and ensuring that you, as a platform team, you're able to test your changes before you roll out and publish to your app teams. So in context of all of that, one of the things is that we introduced this time around is we're adding support for secrets with process templates. Now, before this feature, as a platform team, you'd have to parameterize a secret or a secret, and you'd parameterize it, and the platform team would have to fill it out. Now, this can be a pain, especially if you imagine, in our case, let me walk you through this actually. So here's a process template that I created, which must be run before all of your deployments happen. So these are the pre-flight steps that happen before the actual application or service is deployed. In here, I have a few steps around creating an SBOM, validating some configuration, and then sending a notification, in this case, via Slack. So as you can imagine, with a Slack notification, we have a secret, which is around the Slack hook. This is, a Slack requires the secret to go authenticate with your company's, your organization's Slack instance. And so currently, you would have had to publish this out as a parameter, and this would actually be supplied by the project, just like the worker pool. But with this new feature, now, in this case, this is annoying, right? Because you just have one Slack web hook because you have one Slack for all of your company. In this case, you, as a platform team, you can now just add the value in, and your app team doesn't really have to worry about it.
Very nice.
And so this kind of allows you to set default values for any kind of shared secrets, and also allows you to rotate it from a single place. So, if your Slack webhook in this case does change, you can come here and update it, and everyone gets those updates.
Fantastic. Awesome. Is there anything else in Platform Hub that we're working on at the moment? Just to remind folks, if you guys are curious at all, you can look at our roadmap, which is at roadmap.octopus.com. Ships, I'm sure you're across this as well. But we've released this now as part of 2026.1. What's next on the docket, so to speak, for Platform Hub?
Yeah, next up, very soon, which is in the next few weeks, we're releasing project templates as an alpha. So it's, that one there. That's it. So project templates is another type of templating that helps platform teams to standardize their process end to end. So process templates is for small reusable blocks. Project templates allows you to fix and have a end-to-end process that you can just hand over to your app team and they can just get started straight away. So we'll be releasing it in an alpha mode later in the month, and would love customers to try it. It'll be available to all cloud and self-hosted. You can contact me. My email's right there. So if you
I didn't mean to call you out there.
No, all good. So if you're really, really interested and want some information before the alpha is out, please get in touch. Otherwise, when it's launched, you'll as long as you have enterprise tier license, you'll have this turned on for you.
I can't wait for this feature. Project templates is something I've been looking forward to, I think, since I started at Octopus, which was back in 2019. So that's fantastic. The ability to provide templates around my projects, etc., is going to be fantastic. So I'm really, really excited about that. Awesome stuff around around the Platform Hub innovation around shared secrets as well. Is there anything else that we wanted to touch on?
Yeah, actually, we did release compliance reports as well last month, and it'd be nice actually if you can bring back my screen, John.
Sure.
I can
share
a bit about that. No,
there you
all
go.
good. So we added something called compliance reports. This is also an alpha, and we'd love more feedback on this as well. But the idea behind this is to help platform teams meet their audit needs and meet requirements coming from their internal compliance and auditing team with a click of a button. Now, what we heard from customers is some of the most common questions that an auditor internally, especially asks a platform engineer or a DevOps engineer is, who has permissions to deploy, what was actually deployed, and who has permission to go edit your deployment process as well. So these are some of the most popular questions that get asked, and you're asked to provide evidence for it. Now, you can go in the Octopus audit logs today and gather that evidence through a bunch of filtering and stuff. It's definitely possible, but we're trying to take it up and make it a little bit that much more easier for you to go and export a report and hand it over in a few minutes to your auditor. So as an example, the first cut we've done is trying to answer that question around who can actually deploy to production, who has permissions to deploy to production. So here you can go ahead and select all of your production environments. So in this case, I'll select a couple of them. Here we go. So I can go and select and hit create my report. And then this gives me a report for these environments, via these particular projects, there are 3 users that can deploy. And you get a whole list like this. You can also go ahead and download it as a CSV and chuck it to via email or whatever to your auditor. There we go. It's downloaded as a CSV. So you can go ahead and manipulate that if you wanted to as well. You can expand all to see the full list of users as well. So would love feedback on this particular feature too. We are planning to work on another one, which is the history of deployments and whether it was approved and a few other details on there. So we're planning to work on that. But you can go in here, click on request a report, and select what other reports you'd like to see that would be valuable to your organization. Feel free to select that and submit that feedback to us.
Wow, that's incredible. Awesome stuff. I always wondered if there was a place I could go to find that information out. Now I can. So this is available for cloud customers in an alpha, is that right?
Correct, yes. And it will roll out. It is part of the 26.1 self-host as well.
Fantastic. There you go. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Ships. We had to start with Ships because she has a heart out. That's okay. But we really appreciate using this time to show with the latest innovations in platform. So thank you very much, Ships. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome stuff. All right, well, let's get back to the What's New page. And again, if you need to follow along, you can do so by visiting the /What's New. We've just covered off the configure shared secrets in process templates. Who would like to go next? Jen, Michelle, what would you guys like to discuss next? We could talk about the recovery agent if you guys would like. Jen,
Yeah,
should we do that? All right, let's go. Hey, I like the enthusiasm. All right, this is good. So, what are we talking about here? The recovery agent. This sounds like something very powerful and interesting to talk about.
Yeah, so this is one of our use cases that when we were doing some research about where is AI going to be helpful, because we've all experienced AI being unhelpful, even though it tries. We were like, what is something that's really going to make a difference to people? And our core business is around ensuring successful deployments. So let's help when they fail. Let's help people better diagnose what's going on, learn how they might be able to take steps to recover that, and make that whole process a lot simpler and a lot faster for people. So basically the way that the recovery agent works is when a deployment fails, you get the option to trigger the recovery agent. So that's really important. There's no AI acting unless you manually trigger it. If you do choose to trigger it, it'll, like John's showing right now, it'll bring up a report of what went wrong and a few steps on how to recover it, some suggestions there. So this is really great because it's a good intervention in the sense that it's coming at a time when people really need it. That time to recovery piece we really care about. This is just getting right into that interface right at that moment that you need it to go, oh, it's broken, how do we fix it? How do we do that quickly? And the other thing that's good about it is this first early feature of ours. It's not our first AI feature, but it's an earlier one. We're not yet taking action back on the system. So you can feel really confident that if you're trying to figure out how AI is going to work in Octopus Deploy with this feature, it will only trigger if you manually click the recovery, manually trigger the recovery agent. And in this first instance, it's not actually taking any action back on the system. So it's kind of small and contained in that way.
Awesome. So help me understand. So the scenario obviously is pretty obvious. Something went wrong. My deployment failed. I got to figure out why. This will help me give some insight into this. Can you describe a little bit what's happening under the covers? Because I think some people, obviously, a lot of folks will run Octopus for internal deployment purposes, right? And so some people might get worried, like, oh, is this sending everything across the wire? Like, what's happening under the covers here? How can I be assured that I have data sovereignty, etc., like that? What are some of the things that have been done to help protect that information?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the context that gets fed into the agent, what it uses is the task logs, the deployment process, so understanding the steps that were taken, and a little bit of the metadata about the deployment. So that's just the names of the projects. We're using Azure Foundry and we're using their enterprise grade security to do things like when that's getting processed on the LLM side before that happens. It's making sure there's no sensitive data or no sensitive information happening that's getting sent to the LLM. So we've got enterprise grade security there. We're also doing, really standard but important things. So making sure that we have different kind of, we're respecting GDPR by routing people through an LLM that's hosted in Sweden versus another LLM that's hosted in America to just make sure we can respect GDPR boundaries. Things like the response from the deployment agent, that can be seen by other people on your team who can see that deployment. So it's contained to that viewership, if that makes sense. Yes. And it's stored for 30 days. And that's because what we found, some feedback we got, is that it's useful for other teams to be able to, other team members working on the same deployment to be able to go and see the diagnosis and pull apart what happened. But it gets stored for 30 days and then it's gone. So we take security very, very seriously, obviously. If you've got any specific questions about that, please get in touch with me and we're more than happy to walk you through what that looks like in more detail.
So the really cool thing about this is, of course, was that we've integrated this directly into the product, and you'll only see it when there's a failed deployment. So you won't see the recovery agent, obviously, on a successful deployment. So we're trying to be a little bit thoughtful there in terms of its design. Is there anything else that we want to discuss around AI, around the recovery agent, etc.? Of course, there's all the stuff that we have on our roadmap. I don't want to have you play your hand early, but is there anything that you're excited about that we're building that folks might want to know about coming up in future releases?
Yeah, definitely. So we have up on our public roadmap the process agent, which is something that we are working on at the moment. And, the first step is using AI to help diagnose a deployment failure, what went wrong. The kind of obvious next step is how do we use AI to help actually enact that change and then fix it? And so this will be our feature that then can act back on the system. Once again, we're being super mindful about things like making sure that no actions are taken by AI that aren't manually approved. And so there is the human in the loop still. It's all still manually triggered while we're learning about how people want to engage with AI, what level of automation they want. But this is really exciting because, if we can get that first step right, diagnose and suggest a recovery, but then it's just a second click of the button to get, here is a bunch of steps that we think we can take to actually fix it. Yep, I can have a look. I can maybe tweak a little bit of it, and then I can click approve. Then it will go ahead and just actually action that. And so that whole mean time to recovery workflow, we're really trying to reduce that in those like high value interventions with AI. And this is actually something I'll call out. We are doing a lot of discovery work on this because, as you might imagine, with introducing a totally new way of using AI in that it's acting back on the system in Octopus Deploy, we really want to make sure we get that user experience right, that end user experience right. So our designer Div is doing a huge amount of design and concept modeling, trying to play out different ways this could work in the actual product. And we are going to be wanting to chat to customers about getting some feedback on some of our prototypes. We'll be doing that late April, early May. So if this is a feature that's interesting to you and you want to get involved in shaping it very directly, what it's going to look like, what the end user experience is, what really matters to you, please get in touch with us. We'd love to chat to you. We'd love to run you through some prototypes and get your feedback to inform what we're doing here.
What would be the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
Best way, you can email me directly. I don't have that up on the screen anywhere. What's the best way to show that?
Well, you can just use first name dot last name at octopus.com.
Yeah,
So
this is me,
yeah.
Thanks, John. This is me. So I'm Jen Atkins. So hit me up via email. You can also use the Slack community channel. So I'm in there again, Jen Atkins. Get in touch with me is the best way. And if you're really struggling, you can't remember my name later down the track, just chat to your account person or somebody in support, and they'll find me because we're pretty well networked internally, and we do make sure we want to chat to anyone who's keen to be involved. So lots of ways to get in touch.
Fantastic. Jen did mention the community Slack channel. You can find that at /community. So if you're at all interested in join us there on the Slack. Let us know if you're wanting to help out in terms of discovery. To give us some feedback, etc. And another way in which you can do that, I know that Jen and Michelle and Chips and all the other PMs at Octopus care deeply about the feedback. So you can go here and let us know how important this feature might be to you. I know that most people will probably click critical, but let us know, vote, and tell us what you think is a really important feature as part of our roadmap. Again, that's at roadmap.octopus.com. I've made this joke 1,000 times. Make it a bookmark, if not your homepage. We're always updating this page. Lots of great stuff there. Awesome.
Yeah, just to jump on that, if you do give feedback through the roadmap, you can add a little comment there. That would be another place where I would see if you were like, here are my thoughts and feelings about this feature. I'd love it. Can I give a little I'd love to chat to your team. That's another place that you can put that comment, and I will see that and get in touch.
Yes, and finally, you can also submit your own ideas. So if you have something that Jen and the team over on the AI side of things at Octopus you want us to work on, let us know. Submit an idea. Awesome stuff. All right.
I'll just jump in.
Yes,
I just wanted to say, sometimes it may feel like you're kind of submitting ideas to like a boulevard of broken dreams, but the product team at Octopus does actually monitor all of the insights that come through I quite often jump in, like every now and then we'll get a request come through and I'll have a look at it. I'll think, actually, I think that might be a bug, and we actually managed to get a fix out fairly quickly. So there may be a couple of people watching that have had random emails come through from me, because I'll jump on things as they come through. So please make sure that you do, save it as your homepage and use that submit idea, because we do monitor it really actively.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And if you have any questions at all, Jen and Michelle are here to help answer them around the features we're going to be wrapping up with here. But in the meantime, you can certainly check out our What's New page if you're all interested. Feel free to submit a comment right now if you want to let us know if there's a feature you want us to take a look at, for example. Let's move on to tagging, Michelle. I know this is something that you worked on as part of your team. This is a feature that's entitled Organize Your Instance at Scale with Improved Tagging. Now it's easier for platform infrastructure and DevOps engineers to filter, view, and organize resources in Octopus at scale. And this is done obviously through scoping tags to their environments, projects, etc. There's a blog post that I know that you guys have worked on here. This is one that you published earlier. And you can check this out at octopus.com/blog. So you can go ahead and subscribe to our RSS feed there if you're all inclined. But this is a blog post you wrote about extended tag sets. So tell us all about tag sets, that are the innovations that are new in 2026.1.
I would love to. Yeah, so we've done quite a bit of work on tag sets. Those who have used tenant tag sets in the past will be familiar with those, but rather than just being limited to tenants, now you are able to scope to projects, environment, runbooks, and very soon your target tag sets will be migrated in here as well, so that you can manage them a little bit easier. So what we've also changed is, where previously with tenant tags, everything was just multi-select. You could tag anything and everything as you pleased. We've added more types. So you've got single select as well as the multi-select, and then free text as well. Where that comes in really handy for the single select is, say, for example, with your environments, you may want to be able to tag prod or non-prod. So here I can say, here's the two.
Oh, let's switch over to your demo. Sorry. Let's switch over to your screen. Sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So within your tag sets, you can see here you've got added scopes, added types within your environment types. Where the single select may come in really handy is you've got prod and non-prod. With those, you don't want, there's no situation where an environment is both prod or non-prod. So to reduce a human error a little bit, we're having that so that you can just determine, I want that to be single select. People only select one or the other for each environment. Where that'll come in particularly handy, and this kind of overlaps with what Ships was talking about earlier in the the platform hub, is you can use these environment tags to hang policies off. So if you've got a policy that you want to apply to your production environments only, then you can tag all your environments and then hang that policy off your production tag, which is a really nice way to use it. A couple of other use cases I'll go through. It's a little bit hard because everyone likes to use Octopus slightly differently, and will have different requirements around, maybe organizational metadata that they want to use for these tag sets. But yeah, as well as the not prod or non-prod use case, we've got with the project tags, you may want to tag with product lines, with teams. So then when you're on your project dashboard and you want to be able to filter, you can filter with your tags here. So that this is a demo instance, so it's not particularly unwieldy to use, but if you've got a lot of projects, being able to narrow them down makes a big difference here. So you can just look at what you care about at that point in time. And also with runbooks, we've added the ability to trigger, so you can use runbook triggers, and the trigger can specify, rather than just one or two runbooks, you can specify by tag. So then if you wanted to tag all your runbooks by the type of runbook that they are, if you know that there's a specific point that you want all of that type to be triggered, you can do that as well. We've kind of left it there for now. A lot of the use cases were just around that organization of the dashboard and being able to see what you really care about. Going back to the roadmap that John was talking about earlier, this is where we want to hear more from you. So in the blog and both in the roadmap, there's different ways to get in touch. I'll be monitoring everything just to hear, as you start to adopt tags, what's useful for you, where do you want to where do you want to use that? So at the bottom of that blog, you'll see there's a survey that's linked. So if you jump in there, you'll be able to give us your opinion on what will be really helpful for you. And that will help us with direction of what happens next. A couple of things that are front of mind are potentially being able to freeze by, so we've got deployment freezes being able to freeze by tags. So the ability to freeze all production
I like that.
environments would be really nice. Like, I'm going on Christmas holiday. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to go through and manually select everything. I just want all prod to be frozen. Also, the ability, we've got priority deployments as well. I want all of my prod environments to automatically get priority. So there's those use cases. Also, we've got the license usage page at the moment. Some customers, when it comes to like assigning the license usage to cost centers, you may want to be able to filter your license page by tags. So a lot of potential things, but we want to make sure that what we work on next is what customers actually want. So that's why we're holding off for now. We'll listen to you, and then we'll move on and pick up what's going to add the most value next.
Awesome. And if you want to read Michelle's blog post, you can check out our blog at octopus.com/blog. Thanks a lot, Michelle. That's awesome. Let's jump back now to the What's New page. As you can see, there's this What's New, which is the more technical variety. There's also the What's New that we have for folks who care about the sort of graphics, etc. But if we jump over, where am I now? Am I on this one? There we go. Yes. So if we jump back to the more colorful variety of What's New, you can see we've covered off a bunch of these. We talked to Ships about everything that's new in the Platform Hub. We've talked to Jin about the Recovery Agent, awesome stuff around AI. Michelle has shown us some of the new innovations around tag sets. I want to cover off some of the other capabilities that we have in 2026.1. Maybe you haven't seen these before and you're just curious about them. Retention policies. This is obviously something that people care about. Obviously, you want to reduce the amount of size that your Octopus instance may be utilizing it. And retention policies are there to control, obviously, in some cases, the audit log bloat that can occur, right? Audit logs can be very, very big. And so one of the things that we've added the ability to do is obviously define these things called retention policies, which allow you to control how long audit logs are retained, etc. For a long time, this was actually hard to discover. There wasn't really an easy way for you to discover these capabilities. Sometimes you'd have to jump into projects and they just weren't located in the right location. So now we've actually surfaced this out as a retention root object now, and you can go into your release retention policy and define how long releases and deployments are kept for. For example, if you're all curious, there's this nice little note here in the, I guess this is the new feature purple. Is this the color we're going with for new features now with new features, I guess? But retention policy now is can be defined here. This is easier now to get to than on a per project basis. This is default retention policies across all projects now going forward, which is fantastic. So you can read more about this up on our dogs. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll just add, if you've got runbooks set up on your instance, you'll also see your runbook retention in that space as well.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah, this is something that we're trying to surface out, make it a little bit more high level. Thus the reason why we have the top level menu bar defined here, which is great. So if you want to read more about this, you can check it out on the docs, which we have linked through the What's New page, which is great. And then obviously the ability to copy tags, copy releases, This is just something that we've surfaced up to the root level inside of the hamburger menu or the kebab menu, whatever the menu that, the three dots, I think they call it the kebab menu. Anyways, whatever. So now you can copy release, which is great. This was a feature that I thought was there, but it's something that you can now leverage directly from inside of Octopus for copying releases. We have docs that showcase this, obviously, and so you can use this if you want, which is great. No sense kind of debating that. And then lastly but not leastly, we have support for NPM feeds, which is fantastic. This is something that I thought was badly needed because a lot of folks utilize NPM for front end and for Node apps, etc. And just to showcase what this looks like here, I'll jump back to my instance. I'm having trouble navigating my own instance here. So I'm going to jump back here to the root level here called projects. So you'll notice down here at the bottom, where are we? External. We have this section here called external feeds. And so here, what I can do is I can add a new feed. I can define the type here now, NPM feed, which is now available to me. I can give this a name, such as NPM. I'm going to point it to either a public or private repo here for me to use. I'll just utilize the public one from npmjs.org. In addition to that, I can also specify common things for feeds like retry attempts. I can specify credentials if I want to use a username and password or token. And once that's set up, I can hit on save and test and then search here for various packages that are available up on NPM. And now, thankfully, we can now utilize NPM as part of our feed types inside of Octopus, which is fantastic. The reason why this is great is because oftentimes what you would have to do previously, like if we didn't have this capabilities, you'd have to create a zip or tarball and then push that up to our built-in repository and kind of keep track of two different things. You'd have to keep track of everything that's going on in NPM, in your NPM repository. You'd have to keep track and correlate those two things inside of Octopus. Now, what this means is we can auto-track those things as a feed type, and then we can generate automatically releases as part of that. So this is a wonderful new feature. I'm really happy to see this as part of our What's New, and I think was badly needed. So there you go. NPM support inside of Octopus 2026.1, which is fantastic. Awesome. Is there anything else that we didn't touch on, or is there anything else that you guys wanted to cite here before we wrap things up? Are there any questions to you, dear viewer, that you'd like us to answer possibly? Let us know in the comments. Jim, Michelle, is there anything else that you guys... Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so in external feeds, when we were working on the NPM, we also managed to sneak Google Cloud Storage in there. So you've now got your, hopefully... Hopefully you can see it in there. Yeah, you've got Google Cloud Storage as an option for your feed type as well. So
awesome.
Found a little bit of extra time, managed to sneak that in as well. So yeah, just more and more options. Again,
those
it's one
sneaky
of those
PMs.
things. Yeah.
They pulled one on us.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
So that means obviously you can trigger releases off, I guess, updates to cloud storage now.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
hey, I didn't expect that.
One of those
Great.
things. Yeah.
That was like a one more thing moment, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I guess it's another one. If you have your packages held somewhere that we don't support, that's another one. Just reach out via the roadmap and request it if we get enough requests.
This is that scene out of Jaws. You're gonna need a bigger boat. You know, we're gonna need a bigger drop down list soon.
Yeah, we will.
Awesome. Jen, was there anything else you want to mention on the AI side before we wrap up?
Just please, we're really, really keen to work directly with customers, particularly on this upcoming process agent, to understand how people want to interact. We know that there are lots of different preferences emerging around what's in the UI, what's in CLI, if something's in an IDE. We're really, really interested in getting direct feedback from people actually using Octopus to inform the stuff that we're building. So please do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. If you wanted to follow along at home, you can go check out our What's New page at /What's New. That's the one that we highlighted there. We do this intentionally as part of the release party just to keep it kind of casual and light. Obviously, you can do the same thing. Just go through each feature and check it out. If you want to see what's coming, you can check out our roadmap at roadmap.octopus.com. I've cited this earlier. Make your homepage, if not a bookmark. Let us know if you have any questions. I did mention also our blog, which is at octopus.com/blog. And you can read all the latest and greatest articles that we publish there. I know that Michelle and Jin are writing there all the time, and so that's great to see. And then if you want to join the conversation, you can do so. We have a community Slack that you can join. Go to /community if you want to find out more. You can join our Slack, ask questions. You can get directly in touch with folks at Octopus. Ask questions directly if you so wish. Find out about the latest new and innovations that are happening at Octopus, which is great to see. Awesome. Well, Ships has left. She had a heart out. That's fine. But Jen, Michelle, thank you very much for joining me for today's webinar. The 2026.1 release is out. Go download it now. Go check it out. Let us know. Kick the tires. Let us know what you think. Send us your feedback through the roadmap as well if you're all curious. Finally, I just wanted to remind folks, if you did miss any part of this webinar and you want to check a replay, we will have a recording immediately available on our YouTube page. You can find us at youtube.com/octopusdeploy. Great. Jen, Michelle, and Ships, thank you very much for joining me for today's webinar. We really appreciate it. On behalf of all of us to you, happy deployments, everyone. Take care. We'll see you at the next release party.
Thanks, John.
Bye.